If you're a business owner making real money and you've ever looked at an IUL and thought, this didn't perform the way I expected, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most IUL policies don't underperform because of the index. They underperform because they were designed to look good early and quietly fail under stress. Caps didn't break it, participation rates didn't sabotage it, and the market didn't suddenly forget how to grow. What failed was the structure. And this is where most high earners get burned because they blame the index, switch products, or abandon the strategy entirely without ever fixing the real problem. So stay with me because in a few minutes, you'll see why focusing on the index is the fastest way to miss what's actually draining performance year after year. Hello, my name is Robert Balkach. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Swan Insurance Group. Since 2017, we worked with over 20,000 families, earning 800 plus Google 5-star reviews by doing something most advisors don't. We explain first and design second. If you'd like to know whether your IUL is structurally sound or quietly bleeding performance, click on the link below and you can book a tax-free strategy well session with us. No pressure, just clarity. Because once you understand how these policies actually function over decades, the index conversation stops being the headline. Let me introduce you to Jason. Jason is 51. He runs an e-commerce dropshipping business. No warehouse, no inventory risk, no employees beyond contractors. Laptop business. Ad-driven. Algorithm-dependent. He built it the modern way. Late nights, YouTube tutorials, testing offers, scaling paid traffic, learning, sometimes the hard way, how fast things can change. Today, he makes between $500,000 and $750,000 per year, depending on the ad cost, platform rules, and consumer behavior. From the outside, it looks flexible. He travels, works remotely, controls his schedule, but the income itself, anything but stable. No employer 401k, no pension, no guaranteed paycheck. Most of Jason's wealth lived in the business itself, with taxable brokerage account, or retained cash he didn't want sitting idle. Jason understood something most people ignore. The business could print money or slow down overnight. Ad accounts get flagged. Algorithms change. Payment processors freeze funds. So when he looked at IUL, he wasn't chasing upside. He was trying to remove fragility. And like the most smart entrepreneurs, his instinct was to focus on the indexing strategy. Caps, participation rates, credit assumptions. And that's where most people stop. Jason did. But here's the reality no one explains clearly. The index doesn't determine whether an IUL works. The structure determines how much of the index you're allowed to keep. Think of the index like gross revenue. But at the end of the game, what matters is what survives after internal drags and costs. And most underperforming IULs don't fail because the index underdelivers. They fail because 3 design decisions silently drain performance every single year. Design determines the outcome because this isn't magic. It's math. Structural drain number 1, cost of insurance trajectory. Cost of insurance isn't a static fee. It's a rising internal charge that accelerates as you age. Many policies are designed to minimize visible charges early by stretching the death benefit. That makes the first 5 to 10 years look clean. Jason's original illustration looked exactly like that. Strong early values, no red flags, nothing alarming. But under the tax code 7702, death benefit structure determines how efficiently premiums becomes cash value. A stretch design pushes more premium toward insurance costs later. So even if the index performs exactly as illustrated, more of the return gets absorbed internally over time. The index didn't underperform. The policy just couldn't keep up with its own cost structure. This is where most high earners get burned, because by the time you notice, the damage is structural. And in a minute, you'll see why switching indexes doesn't really fix this. Structural drain number 2, funding patterns that ignore reality. Jason's income is lumpy. Some months are strong, some months are flat, some months are completely unpredictable. The first designs he saw assume perfectly level funding forever. Miss a year or throttle back during a slow cycle, and the math changed permanently. And that's the problem for entrepreneurs, because money that only works if life behaves perfectly isn't resilient money. Liquidity is oxygen. Under tax code 7702A, Funding patterns determine whether flexibility helps you or quietly turns into drag or mech risk. Jason wasn't failing the policy. The policy was failing to acknowledge how his income actually works. And this is where people wrongly blame caps and participation rates. But the next one is even more problematic. Structural drain number 3, early performance illusions. This one is subtle and dangerous. Many underperforming IULs look greater. Why? Lower early insurance costs, favorable early mechanics, illustrations that aren't stress tested for aging. By year 12, 15, or 18, that illusion fades. The index didn't change. The policy matured. Same index, same market environment, completely different outcome, because one structure absorbs stress and the other amplifies. Structure beats speculation. And here's where Jason's story shifts. Jason didn't abandon the strategy. He rebuilt it before life intervened. We redesigned the architecture. Number 1, compress death benefit early. Number 2, control cost of insurance trajectory. Number 3, max funded the policy intentionally within 7702A guardrails. Number 4, engineer policy loan mechanics before income was needed. And number 5, included living benefits as a structural layer, not a sales add-on. Same category of product, same IRS rulebook, completely different behavior over time. Costs don't kill IULs, bad design does. Sell it and steward it. And then, life tested. 2 years after the policy was put in place, Jason's business hit turbulence. A major ad platform changed its algorithm. Customer acquisition costs spiked. Margins compressed. Cash flow tightened fast. This wasn't a market crash. This was the reality of digital business. Jason needed liquidity now. Not next year, not after selling assets, not after triggering taxes. Because the structure he had been designed beforehand, Jason was able to access $100,000 from the IUL policy. Clean, fast, no taxable event. That $100,000 bridge payroll, ad testing, and the operating expenses until the business stabilized. No fire sales, no panic decisions, no selling after a market drop. That's when Jason realized something important. There are 2 kinds of money. Money that grows and money that still works when life interrupts. Liquidity wasn't theoretical. It was functional. Now let's walk through his numbers. Jason began funding $100,000 per year at age 51. He committed to 15 years of funding, $1.5 million total. By age 60, the policy illustrated approximately $1.15 million in accumulated cash flow. Not flashy, not speculative, just efficient. He continued funding through age 65, bringing total contributions to $1.5 million. By age 65, the policy is projected to have $2.15 million in cash flow. Then the income phase starts. At age 66, Jason is projected to take approximately $190,000 per year in tax-advantaged income. By age 75, his total income taken out of the policy is over $2.8 million. And accumulated cash value is now over $4 million. By age 85, the total income he will receive is over $4.7 million, and the policy is still functioning. And by the age of 100, if he makes it that far, the total income access is projected to be $6.6 million. And the death benefit is still there for his family legacy. All numbers are illustrative. There are no guarantees, but the behavior is the point. All of this happens without triggering taxable income, without selling assets after a market drop. Jason didn't just beat the index. He beat tax drag, internal friction, and timing risk. So here's the verdict. Most IULs don't underperform because the market fails. They underperform because they were designed for spreadsheets, not stress. Jason didn't chase better caps. He didn't rotate indexes. He fixed the structure. And once structure was right, performance had room to breathe. So if your IUL is disappointing you, your index probably isn't the villain. The design is. So if you would like to know which one you're dealing with, click on the link below and you can book a tax-free wealth strategy session with us. Your business builds income, your IUL builds freedom. And remember, it's not what you earn, it's what you enjoy the ride.